Welcome to Career Services. This is a brief overview of what employers ask and what you should ask employers during an interview. These are some types of questions you will hear employers ask. They may ask you questions about your education. So they may ask you questions about the reasons you selected UNF, and they may also ask you questions about your major. Why did you select the major that you have chosen? They may ask you questions about your work experience as it relates to the position that you're applying for, so be prepared to answer questions specifically with concrete evidence with examples about your work experience. They may also ask you questions about your abilities and strengths, and they may also ask you about your weaknesses. So you want to provide very specific examples in these areas. When answering questions about weaknesses, be sure to provide examples that are non-essential to the position. So for example, if you are applying for a position as an event planner, make sure that your weaknesses are non-essential to the job function. So don't discuss examples such as you are disorganized or have trouble with time management. Obviously, these are essential to a position for an event planner. You may get asked questions about short-term and long-term goals, so be sure to prepare in advance some examples of some of your short-term goals and long-term goals. The employers may ask you questions about your personality. The reason employers are interested in these types of questions is because they want to know how you will fit into the organization as a whole, but in particular, they're interested in finding out if you're going to be a good fit into their team. So be prepared to answer some of these questions. Questions you should ask an employer during an interview may be, what is a typical week like at your organization? Even further, you may ask, what is a typical day like at your organization? What type of training or orientations do interns and employees receive? And how long will the orientation take? Is it a half day? Is it an entire day? Will it be an entire week? How are interns or employees evaluated? This is important for you to know how frequently you will be evaluated, and will this evaluation be taken into consideration for a promotion or raises? On average, how many interns are asked to return or receive full-time offers, especially if this is your last semester and you're doing an internship prior to your graduation? When do you expect to extend an offer? It is important that you know what the last step will be and when the last step is after the interview. That way, once the interview is concluded, you'll know if you need to follow up and when you will need to follow up after the interview. These are just a few things for you to know during an interview. If you have further questions, please be sure to contact Career Services at 620-2955, and if you're interested, you can schedule a face-to-face practice interview with our office.